Hi guys, so this is the second video from my collection of relaxing watercolor tutorials where you can learn basic watercolor techniques step by step. My name is Irina K and today we're drawing the second seascape. For the next piece I'm gonna use mainly cerulean blue and I still have some leftovers from cobalt blue, so I'm gonna mix them both. So this time the color will be more intense and you will see the difference. Again, as a first step, I always suggest just prepare paint. And for the flat wash, you really need to have paint in excess, like a little more than you really need. A little more of water, a little more of paint. It's quite bright, quite intense. Maybe a little too bright for the kind of sunny, happy day sky color. So making it a little more transparent, but still much more intense than the previous light flat wash that we have. I'm gonna cover a little more than half and make sure that you can tilt your paper because that will help a lot. Now what's really important, you take a lot of paint. Like you could see the brush is like full of that color that I mixed. And you need to work quite quick. This is a different way to create flat wash. Again, bigger size brush will be very helpful. With every brush stroke, I'm adding more and more paint, so it's not getting dry so quickly. And because the paper is a little bit tilted, so paint also moving a little bit on the bottom. And that's what I'm gonna do. Like I need to cover a little more than half. I tilt the paper and I let paint move gradually on the bottom. I see that on a video that color looks a little darker than it is in the real. I will wait till it gets dry totally, and here is I have some excess of the paint. I'm just gonna remove it a little bit with a brush, so that's why what will really help if you tilt your paper and the paint will be collected in the corner or closer to the edge. And with a dry brush, I will remove this paint. It depends. Sometimes it creates nice effect, but it's gonna be unpredictable if you leave it. All right, it's done. I just need to let it dry. You can use a fan if it makes process faster for you. After you try it again, if you can leave me in a comment of which method was easier for you or worked better for you, the first one on a wet surface or the second on a dry surface. I recommend you to try both more than one time, at least 3 times each, so then you will start to see the difference. And meanwhile, I'm mixing another color. All right, so now I'm gonna use bigger size brush, light paint. You might notice I added a little more water there. And my sky is still slightly wet. Just make sure that it's not too wet, otherwise working on the bottom, you might risk to mix both colors. So one of the way, sometimes I just keep like tiny, almost invisible border between two colors, preventing it from mixing. And now again, I'm gonna use texture of the paper, and that's why I'm using this bigger size brush. And I touch that wet part of the sky that I have totally at the bottom. I'm gonna tilt my paper a little bit so you could see the effect. And now gently, very carefully covering the rest of the white part that I still have. I don't want to remove all white on a blue part of the paper. I'm gonna keep some similar composition, but use a little bit different colors and mix in slightly darker paint. Again, I'm just using the same colors that I had before. I missed some part of me adding a little bit darker color, and I'm gonna catch up on this now. So just make sure that the paint is much thicker, less transparent, and visibly darker. So then you can add a couple of outlines or brush strokes to emphasize the water closer to the slide effects specifically. I'm not gonna add a lot. And now I'm going to show you washing out effects. That's another very important thing that you would love to learn how to do. That sometimes you need to remove some paint, and depends on your paper. On some paper it will be much easier, but I prefer to use flat brush with sharp edge, making it just a little bit wet, but almost dry. And using that flat sharp tip, you can remove some amount of paint, creating nice effects. I'll show you more. And for the bottom, I'm going to use something that closer to the sand for the color, maybe not that bright. And now with clean brush, just want to wash out a little bit here, making it smoother. I'm going to use washing out effect to create sort of clouds. Just making brush wet. Try to play with the shape, that it's not all totally the same, and some parts to make a little bit brighter. I use paper towel to remove even more paint. I'm not planning to remove all at all because I don't want cloud look too flat. I'm gonna leave it the way it is now for the clouds. And there is one more thing that I could do, as I have now this effect that might be nice just to keep it the way it is. It's not the same straight horizontal line that we created in a previous piece, but still might be used as something interesting in the way that you can create to add a couple of brush strokes, making like you could see the other side, or there's island or something. Just make sure that this part got dry properly. And now, while you have a dry surface, you can add simple shape over there. And there's a trick. I'm gonna use paper towel to make line a little straighter. Pressing on the paper towel. If you didn't watch the first part of Basic Watercolor Techniques video, I post the link in the description below, and I explain there how to create flat wash on a wet surface, which might be easier option, so I recommend you to watch it. And this is the result of our today's painting and painting from the first video. Thank you for watching and staying with me, guys. Have an artful day. Bye.